Hi, this is Coach Colette, host of the Start Within podcast, and welcome back to another episode of Financial Fridays. So we are continuing our focus this month on mental health, and the theme of this Mental Health Awareness Month is Tools to Thrive. This week, we are going to focus on how you can connect with others. Did you know that it's possible to be surrounded by people and still feel alone? It's really the connections that we make with others that helps to enrich our lives and get us through tough times like these. Sometimes it can be challenging to figure out how to make those connections. It's been shown that the number of friendships you have in your adult life, especially early in your adult life, and how close those relationships are, will influence your well-being even up to 30 years later. So let's talk about some ways that you can stay connected with others even in this time of physical distancing. So you want to think about where is it that you are already connecting with people. In this time, much of that connection might be happening digitally. So is there someone that you perhaps haven't had a conversation with in a while? Maybe it's time to set up a social Zoom or a social meet or to connect on Facebook. It can help you to feel a little less isolated. And you want to make time to be social. Particularly in these times, I would say not leaving it up to chance. You might actually have to put it in your schedule because then you'll honor that commitment, you'll honor that appointment, and it won't get slid away or it won't fall by the wayside because of all of the other things that you have going on. You want to pay attention to what other people are interested in. That can help you to build and strengthen connections. Taking note of what's going on in other people's lives, what are their goals, what are their desires, what are their interests, and when you come across something that might be relevant for them, share it. That's something that I do. I've been passing along lots of information to my fellow entrepreneurs, and I tend to share things based on their interests. So I send my health and wellness entrepreneurs one thing. I may send my social impact entrepreneur friends something else. And then just my gal pals, I will send them something just fun that I might come across. But that's based on me knowing what's important to them. Again, you want to find ways of having fun and sharing funny stories, maybe reminiscing about old times, and finding ways to keep things fun and light, and then also finding time to connect on a deeper level. So those are some thoughts from me on how to stay connected with others. I'm curious to know what you are doing to create time for fun and create time for play and create time for socializing, because all of those things are very important to support your mental health and well-being. All right, get ready and listen up to today's tip from Singh.
Hello everyone, this is Singh, aka Investing, of the Investing Podcast with your weekly Financial Friday tip. Are you solely invested in the stock market? Do you have other assets that can be growing as well? I suggest looking into other commodities such as gold, silver, platinum, as they can provide a hedge depending upon your asset allocation, your portfolio. And with that said, that is your weekly Financial Friday tip, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello again. It's me with our unplugged segment for today. I thought that I would share a little bit about fear. I talked a little bit about this in a recent post on Instagram about my aha moment that I had recently. Because it's getting warmer here in the city, I was getting a lot of messages from friends saying, hey, have you been outside? Have you gotten any fresh air? I realized I was getting annoyed and even getting pissed off when people were saying that to me. And so I sat with it a little while and realized that so many of my choices that I've been making during this pandemic have been from a survival mode. And in reality, a lot of it is from a place of fear as opposed to a place of faith or a place of love. And you know what? I wouldn't necessarily change those choices. I'm just reflecting on my reaction to going outside because I love it. I live near Brooklyn Bridge Park. I can walk to the park. I can see the river. I can hop on a ferry. In fact, with this being Memorial Day weekend, it's likely that not in a pandemic, I would have found my way to the beach somehow this weekend, if not beforehand already, since it is late May. And yet I've been making different choices, obviously to protect my health and my well-being. What I realized is that my safest place, at least from my perspective, is my apartment because I cannot control what anyone else does from the minute I step outside of my house. And so that's what I realized was coming up for me when people were saying, hey, did you go outside today? It wasn't about not wanting to run outside or see the sunshine or hug a tree or smell a flower or watch a sunset. It was really about my fear of, well, what could happen as I'm walking to one of those locations. And so I encourage you to think about it. What choices have you been making in this pandemic? And I suggest that you do it not from a place of self-judgment or doubt or guilt. It really is to perhaps have an aha moment like I had about all of this. And recognizing that when we are operating from a survival mode, we are in a bit of that fight, flight, or freeze situation. And I guess I have more of a fight in me than I thought. Typically, when I react to trauma or challenges, I tend to be a freeze, meaning that I just kind of need to process and I don't take action right away. So this was a bit new for me to have more of a fight response where I was like getting angry and wanted to send a snarky text or even tweet, which I did. I did post a picture of me in my face mask saying that I was over being outside. So I had to get that out. So it's an interesting thought for me to reflect on this and recognize that we're all going to have different reactions to what's happening because we all have had different experiences in our pasts, in how we have dealt with trauma in the past, how we have been raised, as well as how we have been nurtured, as well as how we have been able to release our anxiety, our fear, around stressful situations. So, on this holiday weekend, if you get the chance to go outside in a safe way, I hope you do so. And I am going to plan to do the same. And maybe you can find some quiet time to reflect on, are you operating, acting, making choices out of a place of fear, or are you making choices out of a place of love or faith or hope? And again, not to judge yourself, but then perhaps the deeper reflection, if it is a fear-based choice, sit with, why am I in this place of fear? What is triggering this fear? Is it something that's currently happening? Or am I perhaps reacting to something from my past? Is it something that needs to be healed? All of these are ways to deepen your self-awareness and your self-knowledge, which is really critical to helping you to thrive and make it through this situation so that you can be even stronger as we come out on the other side. So for all my listeners in the U.S., have a wonderful, happy Memorial Day weekend. I will be in touch with you again very soon. Be well and start within. So what is your takeaway from this week's Financial Friday segment? What might you do differently around your money and your mindset? For more financial advice, you can check out Suki's podcast, Invest Singh, where I also share tips on his Wellness Wednesdays segment. If you enjoyed this episode and haven't already subscribed, you can do so on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Coach_Colette for more inspiration on personal growth and wellness. Tune in next Friday for another episode and get ready to start within to finish strong.